What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Conrail's Boston Line. I got some updates for you. It's been a pretty busy summer. I know I haven't given you too many updates as far as the layout's concerned, but I promise I've been busy down here. I've been busy out of here too, but I've definitely been busy down here. I got some expansion I want to show you. I got some updates I want to show you, and a couple projects that I'm currently working on that I wanted to show you. So thanks for tuning in, and let me get you guys up to speed. All right, so the first big project that I did down here was expanding Pittsfield between CP 147 and CP 150. Now it's been a while, so if you remember, the interlocking here at CP 147 was a total disaster. I had the two mainline tracks coming up. They used to split into this third yard lead right here, and then track 2 went to the upper level and track 1 went to the upper level. Operationally, it was a nightmare. And this is something that I'm always going to recommend to you guys who are still designing layouts. Always think ahead for operations. This, which is what it is now, is a real interlocking. I can go from track 1 to track 2, 2 to 1, and both tracks can access the yard lead and the new siding between CP 147 and CP 150. Let me show you on the layout. So if you recall, this is the sort of the middle level of my layout as it comes up through Chester and the arches, comes around the hill through the cut that I'm starting to build, and comes into what was Hinsdale, the top of the grade. I sort of sacrificed Hinsdale in the ambition of expansion, and I've now brought my CP 147 closer out this way, and I've expanded it. So as you can see, both tracks come up the hill. You have a nice double crossover, so I can move train movements from either track, eastbound and westbound. And then as I come into Pittsfield, now it's 4 tracks, just like Pittsfield was in real life, with the main line on the right, the yard lead right center, the passing siding left center, and the other main line on the left. In real life, it was flip-flopped. The sidings were on the edges and the main line was in the middle, but that's what I got. So like before, Pittsfield was sort of the location where my main line split and heads to the upper level in either direction. The track in the back goes up and around, starts to climb up, loops all the way around the room behind us, through state line, comes out of the tunnel where this coal train is, and back down around into CP 150. So the design is very similar, but I added, like I said, the 4th track with the yard lead, and I expanded the yard lead out further, so now I can actually have a respectable sized, let's say 10 to 15 car local that's actually working Pittsfield Yard here, which was also expanded and loops around to the back with these two sort of, I call them the ready tracks. But essentially now I can have a crew based out of Pittsfield come on duty at the yard office that I'm building, and they can build their trains, put them on one of the 2 ready tracks over here, and they have the yard lead accessible to them all the way up to the signal, the little dwarf there at CP 147. So the new siding that I cut in comes back together onto the main line at CP 150. And this is the Amtrak station that I'm still developing right here. If you could imagine in real life, we're looking east through Pittsfield Station, and you would have the overpass. It's actually a road bridge in real life, but on my layout, it's a train bridge. But that would be the scene right there at CP 150 at the Amtrak Pittsfield Station. And then you got the yard. And I still have, if you remember, there's a sort of, I call it the cheater reversing loop in here. It's another sort of staging track for anything destined for Pittsfield that comes in and reverses on itself. And now, since I'm beginning to do op sessions, I'm actually using tablets. So the entire Pittsfield yard, all the switches are powered, and I have a mini panel on JMRI so that when you're operating Pittsfield, you can sit right here on the tablet and change all of your switches. You don't have to continuously climb over the layout and look and see what's going on because it's all lit up right on the screen. It's really cool. We started doing scenery here on the upper level. Don't mind the foreign run-through power here. Kids were playing around. But we started to Scenic the upper level. Added a couple trees. I think we're going to need a few more. And built a nice rock cut, starting to Scenic that. Along down there towards the lift bridge. And that's coming out really, really nice. I like how it's sort of hiding the train. Kind of gives you that mountain feel on, you know, what's actually a 8-inch wide piece of layout. So that's coming together pretty cool. And this was actually inspired because I had a train derail right here and just come right off the layout and sacrifice the hopper car. So now I built this up, so at least, you know, it gives me a little bit of safety in case something decides to try and fall 78 inches to the ground again. And now the final, well, it's never final, but the latest expansion now is CP 187, which is Post Road, to CP 171, which is State Line. This, if you recall, is my 3-track staging yard for the upper level, and I am currently in the process of bumping it out to 4 tracks because I found that 3 tracks is just not enough. So I'm bringing out the bench work, as you can see over here, and I'm just going to add another switch with a 4th track that's going to run around the inside. That'll probably become the dedicated mainline track, but I haven't figured that out yet. But at least now I can stage 2 trains in State Line, and I have a main line and a passing siding. So, because this is technically a single track layout for the upper level, even though it is technically one direction because of the split at Pittsfield, but when I'm doing op sessions, I like to kind of run traffic both ways, and gives me options as far as dispatching goes for staging and also setting up meets for different traffic. You can see the bench work coming out, and 4th track will go in. That'll be in shortly. And the plan is to redo the signals up here for the new staging yard. There was no overhead signals in this part of the Boston line. There were a couple of these targets that were over Post Road, but when you got 4 tracks and they all need to be signaled, you don't really have too many options. So I'm just going to custom build. I got these really nice brass 4-track signal bridges. So I think what I'm going to do is just drop like probably 2 targets, custom make them, and have them for each track. Well, actually, technically they'll be going this way. But this way, you'll have actual signaling for all 4 tracks. Because right now, it's kind of a cheater. I'm just using this one signal to control 3 tracks, which is obviously not prototypical, with the bottom signal being the 3rd track, the middle being the middle, and the top being the main line here. It works, you know, you get the idea, but now with 4 tracks, it's going to look much, much nicer with a nice signal bridge with actual signals for each track. And then I'll drop another signal bridge over here at CP 187. I'll get rid of that three-headed guy and drop a new bridge in there. And I'll probably just keep these 3-headed targets for entering the yard. I also have been printing out these control panels. I just drew up these on JMRI layout editor and then printed them out. And I used laminate paper to protect it. And right now it's just loosely sitting on the layout until I paint it and finish it. But this was huge because once you start operations, every control point needs a name, and operators need to know where they are and where they're going. And also the diagram gives them an idea of what's actually on the layout. So it kind of clears things up, clears up confusion. And now that I'm also running CTC instead of automatic block, it gives the operators an idea of where they're clear to, and if you're given any sort of track orders. Or I'm not really big into the lingo, but these are huge. And then also when we're doing our locals, every industry has a name too, so that operators know, where they have to make their pickups and their drop-offs. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this sort of late summer, early fall update. Like I said, definitely have gotten some work done. Not as much as I would have liked, but with family and kids and sports and school and work and all the other things that take away from our hobby or pay for our hobby, I just haven't had a chance to get any more done. But right now we're sort of in a construction mode. So once I start to clean things up a little bit, I'll make sure I get a few more trains running so that I can showcase the operations of the layout. I'll show you in another video how I'm running CTC with JMRI, essentially using the automatic block logics that I wrote and implementing CTC on top of it. It's kind of cool. With a push of a button, I can go from automatic block to CTC, which is really, really neat if you're into the whole, dispatching and that sort of thing. So anyway, stay tuned for some more videos coming up, hopefully early fall. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you see, obviously click the like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and of course, leave comments if you have any questions at all. I try to answer everything. So if you have any questions about something on the layout, something that I'm doing, something that I did, please just drop a comment and I'll make sure I get back to you. Thanks, guys. Everybody stay safe and have fun.